Hi, welcome to the small shed. This Saturday we've got a blind to fit. See you in a minute. Now I've fitted roller blind before, both in the shed and in the house. Sometimes cheap ones like this you can cut down, sometimes made to measure ones, and there've been one or two things have come up along the way that have taught me lessons, if you like. This time we've got one in the guest room to go in. Let's pop upstairs and have a look and see what we've got to do in there. Right, so today's little task is to get measured up for a new blind for this window in the spare room. It's mainly because we're getting a bit of light pollution from the new building they've put next door. The bulkhead lights are quite bright at night, and also just this tends to get the sun during the day, and it will help just cut some of that out a bit, stop it fading everything. So it's fairly straightforward. We've got to measure up first. I'm getting a made to measure one. You can get these things that you cut down, and I've done a couple of those in the past, but in this case we're getting one made to fit the opening. And the first thing to do with that is obviously to establish the size of the opening. There's a couple of places you can fix these things, either at the head on the underside of the lintel, or actually on the window frame itself. In some cases you don't know what the lintel is above. It can be metal, it can be concrete. You don't know quite what you're fixing into, and you're having to go in the corner. So it's very often, I've tended nowadays more than often than not to actually fix into the timber on the face of the window, because it's an easier fix. But we still need to establish the size of the opening, and that's a bit of a minefield sometimes. In this instance it's quite shallow. This is the part of the extension that I built, and therefore there's always a question of how accurate any of those sizes are. But I will show you in a minute in the other room how far out these things can be, and that isn't me that's done it. So let's just have a quick look anyway. It's quite difficult usually measuring within an opening like this, because you can't get a tape measure to work particularly accurately. What I tend to do is to put a 1 meter rule on and then work in the other direction back to the 1 meter mark, and then pick it up from there, so that's 1.68 1680 mil is my width there. But it is important to check what the width is at the top, and that it's the same all the way through. Let's just go in the other room, and I just want to show you what I mean. Now this is our bedroom. That's something that I haven't built. I've replaced the windows a couple of times, but nothing else. But let's just have a look at this for a minute and look at the measures for the windowsill opening at that point and at that point, and you'll see what I'm getting at. So I'll pop that down there and measure across from the far wall, the opening on the outside. You might get your tape measure across the opening and say it's 1 meter 770, and away you go. If you measure it at the back, it's 1780. Well, there's 10mm difference tapering in that wall, and I'm pretty certain at the top, just go up to the top as well, because I've got an even bigger difference in this one. So if I put that on the far side there and go right the way into the opening, no, 1780 there, and if I go up to there, I'm back to 1760. So you can see there's 20mm difference overall in various parts of this window reveal. And then back in the guest room again, we need to measure the drop. So, right, so here we are, a couple of days later. The blind has arrived. Just make sure it's vaguely what we wanted, and then we can hopefully pop it in. It's not a big job, usually about 4 or 5 screws. So that's the blind itself. A nice aluminium rather than the plastic that I've got in the shed that would cost a bob or two more. And a box of fittings, which are essentially plastic, the same as, and metal, same as I've had before with the do-it-yourself ones. All that happens with the do-it-yourself blinds is that you select something that's slightly wider than you need, and then you just cut down the core, the little rail that supports the bottom, and the fabric to the right width, and then all these bits just plug into the sections, and it works that way. 2 brackets, as I say, you can either hang those from the head of the window or off the face of the frame. I did say I was going for the face of the frame, but in hindsight, looking at it at the moment, that isn't going to work, because I'm very tight. The idiot that built this didn't leave a lot of room there, did he? So I'm going to have to be going from the head. The only advantage I've got is that I know for a fact that this lintel above is actually only timber, because it's a timber dormer that I built with my own fair hands, so I haven't got a problem with that. But it that was something I hadn't foreseen, that there wasn't actually room to face fix to the frame there. So we'll get the bits out. There's not even any unless the instructions are with the documents itself, I don't know. Right, first thing to do is to establish which side is the inside and which side's the outside. It drops so that the blind is closest to the window. That's the finished side, that's the side that faces outwards. So on that basis, as we look at it, we want the controls on the right hand side. So that's that one. And that literally just pushes into the aluminium extrusion. There's a small rib in there that slots into, and it literally just pushes in. And the same at the other end, and it's less critical because it's just carrying it. So again, same thing, that just pushes into there, and that's a spring-loaded plunger to actually put it into the bracket. So that is very easy and straightforward. Next thing is to put the brackets up. Now, as I say, I can't get that one in there like I wanted to. Very well, I could. There are 2 fixings that will go in that way. I could just about catch that one and that one, I think. But it's not a particularly elegant solution. So I'll go for the head purely and simply because I know that there's nothing up there other than timber. I'm just going to mark a couple of points where the screws will need to be. Drop the bracket. Just get a small drill and put a pilot in, just to get on the way. Again, if you've got lintels up there, you've got to be a bit more careful and have a bit more of an explore as to what you need to do. But in this instance, you see, I know there's just a load of timber up there. started and it's away. I think I mentioned when I was doing the garage these long screwdrivers that you get for basically for putting kitchen units in, because they're very long that way to get into corners. They're ideal for this sort of thing because you can keep quite a low angle on doing the screws up, whereas if you've got your fist trying to get in like that, you're going in at an angle all the time and it tends to slip in the screw head. That's it, same on the other side. And then hopefully then all we need to do is clip the fitting in. It's got a register in there to stop it rotating on the mechanism, and then the other side's just the push fit into the hole there. And if we've got our sums right, we've told them the right sizes, it should all go together okay. Good sign. Then all it needs is just screwing that little bracket in that holds the chain, just to stop children getting themselves caught up in it and having accidents. And that's it. I'll run through there now. Could do with a little bit being a little bit shorter, but it's fine as it is. At least it stops them catching themselves in it and getting hurt. So that's another little job out of the way that needed doing, but that's now got this nice blackout blind. Seems to work well enough, and it's easy enough to put up. Alright, that's another little job done, another happy wife, happy life job. It's got the room with its blackout blind fitted. Hopefully next week we'll be doing something different. Look forward to seeing you then. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you next week. Bye!